Hey everyone, Lucky Number Kevin here. It's been a while since my last video. Sorry about that. Meant to make this video earlier. This one's for a viewer who asked for a video about the current implements that I have. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about them. Meant to do this earlier, but all this COVID nonsense happened, so life got in the way. Anyways, moving on. So first implement I'm going to talk about is I guess the ones on the tractor. I'll talk about the front loader and the backhoe. The front loader is easily one of the most versatile implements for a tractor. Obviously, one thing to keep in mind is you're going to always require some rear ballast when using the front loader. Otherwise you risk tipping. Not much to say about here that hasn't been said with the front loader, so I'll just move on to the backhoe. Again, the backhoe, another essential tool to tractor loader backhoe. I love my backhoe. I think this is my top implement, the one I use the most, the one that I find is the most versatile, allows me to do the most things with. Highly recommend, if you're looking at tractors, you look at a tractor with a backhoe. So I did modify my backhoe a little bit. I added the quick attach from the expanded on the end. It allows me to switch between the bucket and the ripper attachment very quickly. Otherwise I was changing out pins, which took between 15 minutes, having to clean them, re-grease them. It just became a pain. So I asked for it, I guess, for a gift, and I think my wife bought it for me for my birthday last year. Love this attachment. Saves a ton of time. Highly recommend it if you're going to be getting, if you're going to get other buckets or other ripper claw attachments for your backhoe, which also I highly recommend. Ripper attachment's great. I use it all the time for ripping out roots. Before I go in with the backhoe, it just makes things a lot easier, puts a lot less stress on the backhoe and the pins. Highly recommend. Next implement I'm going to talk about is another one of my favorites. It's the tiller. I got a forward tying tiller. It's the RTA. I forget which one. I'll put all of the model numbers of all my attachments in the description of this video, so if you guys are curious about any attachment that I have, just take a look down there. But yeah, love my tiller. I use it for everything from, leveling paths, building paths, to, tilling a garden. So highly recommend it. It's great for breaking up dirt if you want to go in with a bucket. Just makes things a lot easier. It's great for soil. Next implement I'm going to talk about is the middle buster. Got this as a Christmas gift from my parents. I requested this because we were going to be opening up the virgin ground for the garden over off in our backyard. Worked great. I was able to rip up the ground, turn it over, get it a little bit dry before we hit it with a tiller, and it really worked good for our first time around. We had a ton of rain this year, and it really hindered our tilling process. So this implement worked great for opening up the ground for us and helping to dry it out. Next implement I want to talk about is the Cultivator. This is a great implement if you guys have a small garden. We use it to tear up the ground in between the crop rows. Helps for soil aeration as well as preventing us from having to do a lot of weeding in the early phases of the growing process. This brings us to the post hole digger. I love this implement. This is the everything attachments version. I think it's the PhD 10, something like that. Once again, I'll put the descriptions, the model numbers of all my implements in the description of this video. This implement's awesome. I've been using it for the last year now to help me install fence posts. I'm putting a fence around about 3/4 of an acre, in my backyard, and every fence post has a concrete base. So I'm using this to drill those holes, and it's been working great. I mean, it goes right through my soil, and I've got rocky New England soil, so highly recommend this post hole digger from Everything Attachments. It's a great tool, and it's heavy duty, and it's going to last for a long time. And that brings us to our last implement, the lawnmower attachment. I think I have the RCK 54-inch version. It's a great lawnmower, works awesome. That's one of the reasons I got this tractor, was because I needed a four-wheel drive lawnmower that could handle the hills on my property, and it does just fine. I love that it doesn't really tear up the grass when I'm turning it all. It does a great job with a nice even finish. Overall, very happy with the lawnmower. So I think that's just about it for all of the attachments. I think my favorite one overall, obviously, would be the Back-Hoe. And this was fun. So if you guys have any other questions or videos you guys want me to make in the future, feel free to reach out and leave me a comment. Be happy to make videos specifically for what you guys want to see. Thanks, and have a good COVID quarantine. See you guys in the next one.